Right, welcome back, and welcome back to Oliver Kay and James McNichols from The Athletic, who've been part of this almighty undertaking, attempting to rank the greatest 100 footballers of all time for a new book called The Soccer 100, and it's caused a lot of debate on and off air today. So let's get to it then. The top 10, who has made the list? Let's go for the 10 to 6 then. So here we have. So Platini in at number 10, Puskás at number 9, Zinedine Zidane at 8, Franz Beckenbauer at 7 and Alfredo Di Stefano at 6. Why?
Why so high or why no high?
Why those 5 players made it 10 to 6?
Incredible careers which resonate really through the ages in terms of, you know, people who watched Di Stefano play in the 50s and 60s would say he was the great player of that era until sort of Pelé came along, and then there's Beckenbauer. Ferenc Puskás, the same, 84 international goals, which in an era where you weren't playing against Liechtenstein and Andorra and San Marino, it was, and 84 international goals in an international career which was curtailed by, you know, for political reasons as well. So you know, these are players who to me are, you know, that they are sort of cast in stone, set in stone among the pantheon of greats.
I think one thing that was really interesting, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ollie, but when we were trying to compile the list, we did find that the top 10, roughly, there was sort of a consensus on those players. After that, it was much more variable. You know, someone might have someone at 99 and someone might have him at 15. And we were kind of trying to find an average and a middle way between those two. But when it came to these names, almost without exception, they were kind of there or thereabouts in different people's lists.
You've got 2 French, Platini and Zidane in there. Do you ask sort of the French public how they view them figures? Do they view Zidane as being better than Platini?
I think it really divides opinion amongst the French. I mean, probably a generational thing, but Platini, Zidane, and then you've got, you know, Mbappe and others leading a new generation. Platini might be sort of remembered by some because of, you know, politics he ended up getting involved in UEFA and FIFA, but he was growing up in the 80s, and he was an outstanding player in the first couple of tournaments I saw, the 1982 World Cup and the 1984 European Championship, which France won. He was an incredible player, but look, they are players who I think, you know, would be. I think they got in most people's top 10, those players.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, we were chatting before the break about kind of the diversity of the list, and Zidane, although, of course, is a French international, the place he holds in kind of modern multicultural France as a sort of North African immigrant family is really significant. So I think he has a kind of symbolic significance to that country as well, which I think weighs in our considerations too. OK.
James, you've got the honour of announcing and revealing the top 5.
OK. Are you going to put it up on the screen as well?
Yes, we are.
Fantastic. There they go. Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo in at number 5, Johan Cruyff, number 4, Pelé, number 3, Diego Maradona, number 2, and Lionel Messi, number 1.
I mean, it's hard to argue. I don't know how Ronaldo will feel about coming 5th. He likes to be number 1 in every...
Yeah, I don't think he'll be thrilled.
I don't think he will be thrilled. But was Messi the unanimous choice, or was there that
not unanimous, Bain? No, not unanimous. You wouldn't expect unanimous. I think he was. Yeah, he was a lot of people's first choice, and that, you know, it might be a generational thing, but you look at the career he's had, and the artistry, the genius, the brilliance sustained at the very highest level for such a sustained period. It's been incredible. I know there will be viewers, and I absolutely accept this, there will be viewers who say he wasn't the greatest or isn't the greatest of his generation. That, you know, people would regard Cristiano Ronaldo, by virtue of his incredible goal-scoring record, you know, the all-time highest goal-scorer in international football, all-time highest goal-scorer in Champions League, and so on, the number of goals he scored. I personally, and I think this was the view, in terms of looking at Messi versus Ronaldo, I've always had a preference for Messi, just in terms of the creative side, you know, what he does for teammates as well as himself. I felt that was clear. I think it's harder to judge, perhaps, Maradona versus Messi, but then you've got, I mean, the point I made about sustained period, and it's Messi having done it for sort of 15, nearly 20 years at the very highest level, and Maradona, much as I absolutely idolised him and loved him as a player and forgave him.
I can't forgive him for something.
I idolised him. I never thought I would see another player like him.
Yeah.
And
it was ridiculously talented.
But you have to recognise that his career was sort of pockmarked by controversies and cut short effectively by off-the-field problems and positive drug tests at the World Cup. I don't think any of that really works in Maradona's favour in terms of that sort of greatest of all time question. But what it does probably give him is this sort of iconic status that he's, as a personality, as an icon, he's perhaps unmatched. Messi as a personality is nothing like so appealing, but I felt that Messi over Maradona was a difficult decision, but
it's a bad 24 hours for Ronaldo, isn't it? Sent off last night.
Yeah,
Number 5 on this today.
But only Cristiano Ronaldo could possibly regard number 5 fifth best player of all time.
I know.
In football as
what happens if Ronaldo wins the World Cup this summer? Do you have to sort of, can you tweak that a little bit? Or not?
I think it would affect people's views, but I was never of the view that Messi had to win the World Cup. I mean, Argentina won the World Cup on penalties in the end, and if Argentina had not won that final, would Messi be several places down the list? I don't think that. I don't think he should be. Maybe he would be. So.
Let's look at the fact that, we've got one Premier League footballer up there in terms of Cristiano Ronaldo. Who was the next top-ranked player that's played in the Premier League?
I believe it's Thierry Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually wrote that chapter on Thierry. And the way that we came at it was because in each chapter, rather than it just being a list of players, we tried to find something unique or original or different to tell you about them. And what was fun with Thierry is that we thought about what it was like to play against him. And I actually spoke to Sky's very own Jamie Carragher about that experience, and he recounted his sort of the night sweats and the terrors that he would have before facing Thierry Henry, and the difficulty of that, and how you couldn't push him wide, you couldn't let him come central. What a test it was for him every time they played together. And that's the thing about this book, like in that a lot of the names will be familiar, but we've tried to uncover kind of different aspects to their stories. That's been really interesting and show a different side. Like with Maradona, I think we've got Michael Cox breaking down his iconic World Cup performance against England, from a tactical perspective. With Johan Cruyff, Phil Hay, one of our journalists, actually went to Sweden and met the man who was the first victim of the Cruyff turn, the iconic Cruyff turn. So we've tried to go beyond just a list and sort of show another aspect, another dimension to these players.
Because these lists have been done before.
Yes.
It's greatest players of all time. It's a sort of perennial debate. These lists, but what we've done here with the book, it's in depth, and I feel it's quite original, deep, rich writing on all 100 players. So, for example, some of them are interviews. I interviewed Kenny Dalglish for it. Mario Kempes, great Argentinian player, Michael Laudrup, these interviews. Adam Crafton wrote a wonderful piece about interviewing Zlatan Ibrahimovic and what that's like, but also some of the pieces are very, very different. Matthias Sindelar, who was a great Austrian player of the 1930s, whose name might not be familiar to many of your viewers and whose story almost certainly won't be, but there was a great mystery around his death in Vienna in the 1930s. Wonderful chapter on that. Wonderful chapter by Jack Lang on Garrincha. It's beautiful writing. It's not just about the lists and the numbers.
OK, very, very quickly, when is it out, this book?
Just before Christmas. But I think available for pre-order, I think from now, if not now, very, very, very soon. So if you pre-order it, you'll get it.
And I was going to say stocking filler, but you'd need...
It's big stocking.
Big stockings.
Ollie and James, thank you so much. Neil, stay there. Don't go anywhere.